Fever's not wasting any time to secure the future of Caitlin Clark. Yes, they made a big-time announcement on social media today about their new practice facility, gave us a little video, a little caption. Everybody's talking about this, but no one's paying attention to the message of the post. The message of the post is that I believe they're catering this whole practice facility around Caitlin Clark, making sure Caitlin Clark stay in the beautiful city of Indianapolis. Hell, they even got a golf simulator room for her, bro. Let's dive into this. Let's head on over to the Indiana Fever X account, guys.
The Indiana Fever front office was handed a clear directive: secure Caitlin Clark's future. Head coach Stephanie White, fiercely committed to preventing Clark from exploring other opportunities due to perceived resource gaps or an inferior environment, expressed intense dissatisfaction. The notion of rival teams enticing Clark with promises of superior facilities and larger markets ignited a rapid, decisive response from the Fever. Rather than a mere upgrade, they unveiled a staggering $78 million overhaul, effectively signaling their unwavering commitment to keeping their superstar right where she is. This move underscores the unprecedented stakes for a franchise now under the global spotlight.
For women's sports. So every element of this facility has been intentionally designed around our players. You see that? Intentionally designed around our players, around Caitlin, bro, including how they train, recovery, connect, and live day to day. This will set a new standard for women's sports and continue to position Indianapolis as the center of that momentum. Kelly Christoph, team president. So this is the message Kelly put out this morning. Now, I just want you guys to listen to some of this.
Kelly Krauskopf's recent social media announcement unmistakably signals the Fever's strategic shift into a formidable defensive posture. They've revealed an expansive 108,000 square foot sports complex, meticulously constructed with one specific individual's requirements at its core. While every aspect of this cutting-edge facility is designed to benefit the players, it's transparent that amenities like a bespoke golf simulator room are precisely targeted at capturing and retaining a particular star's loyalty. This isn't just a training ground, it's an opulent setting crafted to ensure Caitlin Clark never entertains the thought of exploring free agency again, effectively building a grand domain for their leading player in Indianapolis.
So this is the message Kelly put out this morning. Now, I just want you guys to listen to some of this before we go through some of these photos and read some of this article. It says, a first glimpse into a $78 million, 108 square foot sports facility center. Now, light field dual practice courts, recovery suites, hydrotherapy pools, sauna, and more. Chef-driven nutrition program, content production studio, Who Do Content, Who Got a Podcast, Aaliyah Boston, and Sophie Cunningham.
The emerging details about this new complex are astonishing and present a formidable challenge to the rest of the WNBA. Imagine expansive, naturally lit practice courts, state-of-the-art recovery zones, hydrotherapy pools, and even a dedicated sauna. Indianapolis is actively establishing a groundbreaking benchmark for women's sports, positioning itself at the forefront of this athletic evolution. However, the impressive visuals shouldn't obscure the intense behind-the-scenes dynamics within the front office. There's immense pressure to strategically assemble the right team around Caitlin before this critical window of opportunity closes. Stephanie White understands that grand buildings alone don't secure championships, vehemently demanding roster enhancements that align with the ambitious $78 million investment.
Chef-driven nutrition program, content production studio, Who Do Content, Who Got a Podcast, Aaliyah Boston, and Sophie Cunningham. Nail, hair, and makeup salon, golf simulator, child care spaces. Now, these are some of the photos of how it's going to look. Now, I don't know if any of this is going to be open to the general public in Indiana. I doubt that it will be. They might have it to where you could take tours, I would think, of this practice facility.
This new facility uniquely incorporates a sophisticated content production studio, a clear recognition of the significant media footprint held by players such as Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston. The Fever are cultivating an environment where athletes not only hone their skills but also cultivate their personal brands directly within the complex. This ingenious strategy aims to keep their star players deeply engaged, yet it simultaneously underscores the urgent necessity of preserving this core group. Should free agency arrive and these athletes begin considering lucrative offers from major markets like New York or Las Vegas, all these glittering studios would stand desolate. Such a prospect is the nightmare scenario that vexes Stephanie White, driving the front office to tirelessly secure every potential loose end before the market officially opens.
Hey, I don't know how other teams' practice facilities look, but this alone make me want to stay in Indy if I'm Caitlin. Just this building alone. Think about the resources you have there right in the city that you're playing in. And it ain't like Indianapolis is a bad city, you know. I was finna move there at one point. I was finna open up a company there. Indiana probably like a third home for me, bro, because I do go there a lot. I was just in Indy like last month. But I feel like this is an awesome move for them in the direction of keeping Caitlin Clark.
The inclusion of a golf simulator might appear extravagant, but it serves as a shrewd tactical move against the allure of rival cities. Caitlin Clark's affinity for golf as a means to unwind is well known, and by integrating this personal passion directly into their facility, the Fever are effectively ensuring she remains within their exclusive environment. This unprecedented level of player indulgence in the league signals the Fever's readiness to go to extreme lengths to cater to their franchise star. Yet whispers of coaching changes and roster instability continue to circulate. Stephanie White, it's reported, is pushing for far more than just luxurious amenities. She is demanding a roster capable of genuine championship contention next season, and she isn't concealing her dissatisfaction.
He's like an X's and O's type of guy. I like him. Now, this is what CC Report wrote today. Well, yeah, it was today. So, he stated, if for some reason the Fever miss out on Elena Smith, which we really shouldn't, but maybe, may I present to you former Lynx teammate Jessica Shepard. So this is a good proposition here. So we know that players like to pretty much, I call it, send smoke signals to the Fever because they want everybody to make videos.
Free agency casts a long shadow over this entire ambitious undertaking, with the Alana Smith situation emerging as the initial major litmus test for this new era. While there's been considerable speculation about Smith potentially joining the Fever, the signals are becoming increasingly muddled, and tension is palpably rising. Some observers suggest players are strategically leveraging the Fever's high profile to inflate their own market value, generating buzz without firm commitment. Stephanie White is reportedly growing weary of these maneuvers, advocating for aggressive, decisive actions to secure top-tier talent. A failure to land a player of Smith's caliber would deliver a significant blow to the momentum they've diligently built and might unfortunately prove that impressive new facilities alone aren't sufficient to attract the league's most seasoned veterans.
Players like to pretty much, I call it, send smoke signals to the Fever because they want everybody to make videos about them. They want everybody to talk about them, blah, 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 blah. So I think we need to take the Elena Smith thing with a grain of salt. But that's neither here nor there. He said Jessica Shepard. Now, Jessica Shepard averaged 8 points per game. She had 7 points. 7.3 PRG, 2.6 APG, and 20 points per game. Now, at 29 years old, she is right at the peak of her powers. She would be extremely...
The apprehension surrounding potential free agency missteps is acutely felt, especially in light of last year's challenges with certain key targets. Fever fans are on edge, and the coaching staff is even more anxious. They simply cannot afford to pursue elusive targets while competitors are actively signing impactful players. This pressing reality has prompted a shift towards a potential Plan B, one that appears both more pragmatic and potentially more effective for the long term. If the Alana Smith deal doesn't materialize, the front office must have an immediate secondary target ready to activate. Stephanie White is not a coach who tolerates excuses. She certainly won't countenance entering the upcoming season with a roster riddled with vulnerabilities.
But her real strength is her rebounding. That's what I'm saying. Somebody that could go in, rim run, get some boards, give Aaliyah Boston a break. What happened during those semifinals when Aaliyah Boston fouled out? The whole rebound structure was gone. Everything was gone. Now, I'm not saying KK can't become that, what we need her to be, but as of right now, we need somebody that can go up there, get them boards, shoot the ball back out, and keep plays alive and keep us in possession of the ball. Now, with that being said, overall, it would be a different look from the front court than Elena Smith would bring. More fit.
Enter Jessica Shepard, a formidable former Minnesota Lynx standout currently at the zenith of her career, who at 29 embodies the precise veteran presence capable of fortifying the Fever's front court. Shepard's averages of 8 points and over 7 rebounds per game demonstrated a crucial physicality absent from the Fever during their playoff run, with the notion of acquiring her from Minnesota gaining significant traction, particularly if the Lynx's roster becomes crowded with other high-profile additions, where offering her a guaranteed starting role in Indianapolis could provide the necessary leverage for a move that makes strong theoretical sense, though it demands a level of assertiveness from the Fever that they haven't consistently displayed. Stephanie White is reportedly prioritizing players who can alleviate the physical demands on Aaliyah Boston, recalling how the team's entire rebounding structure crumbled when Boston faced foul trouble in the semifinals, leaving them exposed and vulnerable inside. Thus, a relentless rebounder like Jessica Shepard would transform their game dynamic, stepping in to secure vital boards and sustain possessions while Boston rests, as this is about constructing a roster resilient enough for a deep playoff run, one that doesn't collapse the moment a star exits the game. While Shepard's playstyle differs from Alana Smith's, it might be precisely what this specific roster requires. Her defensive presence may not match Smith's, but her prowess on the boards is undeniable, allowing her to dominate the paint and initiate plays by kicking out to shooters like Caitlin Clark, maintaining offensive fluidity. Last year, she even delivered a triple-double against the Fever, a performance that left a lasting impression on the coaching staff and positioned her name prominently for potential free agent acquisitions. The reality is, the Fever need more than just one new player. They require a fundamental shift in their competitive ethos, with Stephanie White brought in to instill a championship mindset, which begins with roster construction. She is reportedly incensed that the team finds itself even contemplating losing ground to other franchises, acknowledging that the $78 million facility is an excellent first step, but only one piece of the puzzle, as failing to secure a significant free agent this cycle would communicate to Caitlin Clark that the team prioritizes building infrastructure over winning rosters, a hazardous narrative the front office is desperate to avoid. Furthermore, there's the critical question of chemistry and how new additions will integrate with the existing core, as Aaliyah Boston has proven effective at the 4 spot, opening various possibilities for a larger lineup. If the Fever can acquire a physically imposing center to manage the interior's demanding tasks, it frees Aaliyah to move more fluidly and leverage her versatility defensively. This adaptability is precisely what Stephanie White needs for her defensive strategies, as she seeks a team capable of countering any opponent, whereas the current roster leans towards being one-dimensional. Thus, the emphasis on versatile veterans like Shepard directly addresses this coaching imperative. League-wide chatter suggests the Fever are finally operating like a major market team, as for years they were content with rebuilding through the draft, but Caitlin Clark's arrival altered everything, and they are now the epicenter of the basketball world and must conduct themselves accordingly. The facility investment and aggressive pursuit of free agents signify a departure from old Fever methodologies, but this newfound status brings immense pressure. Every decision faces scrutiny from fans and media, and any failure to land a top target will be perceived as a significant setback, which Stephanie White understands implicitly and holds everyone accountable. We cannot overlook the human aspect. Players crave feeling valued and supported, which the new facility largely provides. Offerings such as childcare and bespoke nutrition programs demonstrate a profound commitment to players' lives beyond the court, fostering an environment where they can genuinely thrive and concentrate solely on basketball. For a player like Caitlin Clark, under constant media examination, such a sanctuary is invaluable. However, these are merely enhancements. Ultimately, these athletes are competitors driven to win, and if the roster doesn't mirror that ambition, the facility's allure will quickly diminish. The rumor mill accelerates as free agency approaches, with every player's social media post meticulously analyzed for hidden meanings, generating questions like whether Alana Smith is sending a signal or if Jessica Shepard is seeking an exit from Minnesota. Fans are eager for news, and the tension is palpable, with Stephanie White reportedly monitoring all developments closely, ensuring the front office remains focused on primary objectives. She is wary of being sidetracked by flashy names that don't align with the system, instead demanding tough, high IQ players who can execute her vision on both ends of the floor, even if it means ruffling some feathers. A primary concern for the coaching staff is the defensive side of the ball. While the Fever were an exciting offensive team last year, their defense often left much to be desired, and Stephanie White, a defensive tactician, will not tolerate another season of being outworked in the paint. This explains the intense focus on rebounding and interior presence in current free agency discussions. Whether it's Smith or Shepard, the objective remains constant: find someone who can protect the rim and secure the ball. Without that defensive anchor, even a deluge of three-pointers won't propel them to the finals. The front office's strategy appears to be one of overwhelming force, leveraging financial strength to construct a premier facility and prepared to utilize cap space to attract elite players, marking a complete reversal from the franchise's decade-long operational approach. But will it be enough to deter potential rivals? Other teams are already strategizing for upcoming years, aware that Caitlin Clark will eventually become the most sought-after free agent in basketball history. The Fever must cultivate a culture so robust and a team so triumphant that she never contemplates departure. Every present decision is a foundational block in the wall they are building around her future. Stephanie White's frustration likely stems from her intimate understanding of how swiftly fortunes can shift in this league, as a single mismanaged offseason can derail a franchise for years. She recognized this team's potential from an external perspective, and now internally, she demands excellence across every facet of the organization, not just coaching players, but inspiring the entire entity to think bigger and act faster. The $78 million facility is a business triumph, but now the basketball operations must deliver, as failure to do so would render all that expenditure on saunas and golf simulators an apparent desperate attempt to mask a deficiency in genuine competitive growth. The synergy between Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark forms the cornerstone of this entire project, and keeping them content and effective is the paramount objective. By recruiting players who can complement them, the Fever are safeguarding their two young stars from burnout or disillusionment. Frontcourt depth isn't merely about winning games, it's crucial for their long-term health and development, as if Aaliyah consistently battles foul trouble and Caitlin endures constant pressure due to insufficient rebounding, their growth will inevitably stall. Stephanie White is resolute in preventing this at all costs, making sure the front office fully grasps her stance. As images of the new facility circulate online, excitement in Indianapolis reaches an unprecedented peak, with people beginning to recognize that the Fever are no longer merely a small market team striving to get by, they are a burgeoning powerhouse. Yet with this power comes the inherent risk of envy and fierce competition from across the league. Other owners and general managers observe Indianapolis with a blend of admiration and apprehension. They understand that if the Fever successfully combine a championship-caliber roster with these world-class facilities, they possess the potential to dominate the league for the next decade. The contest is underway, and the Fever have seized a considerable lead. The upcoming weeks will prove to be among the most pivotal in Indiana Fever history. Decisions made during this free agency period will reverberate for years to come, posing the question of whether they will secure the top-tier talent and solidify their contender status or opt for secondary pieces and hope for the best. Stephanie White has articulated her position unequivocally. She wants winners. She desires players who embrace the spotlight and can manage the pressure of playing alongside a generational talent. The front office possesses the necessary resources, the facilities, and the motivation. Now they must finalize these deals and demonstrate their capacity to match their new head coach's intensity. The current investment stands as a testament to the Caitlin Clark effect, as she has fundamentally reshaped the sport's economics, with the Fever being primary beneficiaries. They are strategically reinvesting this newfound success into the team in a manner that demands attention from every other franchise. This marks a new epoch for women's basketball, with the Fever leading the charge. Yet amidst the opulence and grandeur of the $78 million facility, the core objective remains constant: win a championship. Stephanie White isn't there for facility tours. She's there for the trophy, and she will not relent until she has the roster required to achieve it. Ultimately, the future of the Indiana Fever hinges on their ability to harmoniously blend these substantial investments with astute tactical basketball decisions. The facility serves as a declaration of intent, but the roster adjustments represent the actual execution of that intent. Whether it's bringing in Alana Smith, Jessica Shepard, or another unexpected veteran, the Fever must establish themselves as a premier destination for winning athletes. Stephanie White's intense conviction reflects her passion and exacting standards. She is acutely aware that time is of the essence, and the league is rapidly evolving. The era of discussion is over, the era of dynasty building has commenced, and the rest of the WNBA better be prepared for what's next.